Lily and the Lost Balloon. Lily loved balloons, especially bright red ones. One sunny afternoon, her mom bought her a big, bright red balloon from the park. Lily held the balloon tightly, smiling as it bobbed up and down, following her every step. But as they reached the lake, a gust of wind suddenly blew her balloon right out of her hands. "Oh no!" Lily cried as she watched it float up, high into the sky. She ran along the shore, waving her arms, hoping the balloon would somehow come back. As it drifted higher, Lily spotted a friendly bird flying near it. To her surprise, the bird swooped close to the balloon, nudging it back toward the ground. Lily gasped as the balloon floated down, right into her hands. She hugged it tightly, grateful for her new feathered friend. "Thank you, bird," she called, waving as the bird chirped and flew away. From that day, Lily always held on to her balloons a little tighter but remembered that sometimes, with a bit of kindness, magical things can happen. She often looked up at the sky, smiling, hoping to see her balloon friend again. Tim and the Garden Treasure. Tim loved playing in his grandmother's garden. The garden was full of colorful flowers, buzzing bees, and butterflies fluttering around. One day, while digging in the soil to plant some new seeds, Tim's shovel hit something hard. Curious, he brushed away the dirt and found a rusty old key. Excited, he rushed to his grandmother and asked, "Grandma, do you know what this key opens?" She smiled and said, "Ah, that's the key to a special chest hidden under the big oak tree. Your grandfather put it there a long time ago." Tim's eyes sparkled with excitement. He ran to the old oak tree, where he dug carefully and found a small, wooden chest. Inside were some photographs, an old compass, and a letter from his grandfather. The letter talked about how nature is precious and encouraged him to always be kind to animals and plants. Tim felt proud to be part of his family's legacy. He carefully placed everything back in the chest and buried it for someone else to find one day. From then on, Tim took extra care of the garden, feeling like he was carrying on his grandfather's love for nature.
Mia and the magic paintbrush. Mia loved to paint. One day, she found an old paintbrush in the attic, tucked away in a dusty box. It didn't look like much, but as soon as she touched it, she felt a warm, tingly sensation in her hand. Excited, Mia dipped the brush into her paints and began to create. As she painted a flower, she watched in amazement as the petals started to glow and move. The flower popped off the page and bloomed right in front of her. Mia giggled with delight. She painted a butterfly next, and soon it was fluttering around her head. She spent the whole day painting trees, birds, and even a rainbow. Each creation came to life, filling her room with color and magic. Mia felt like she had stepped into a fairy tale. But as the day ended, her magical friends began to fade, gently floating back onto the page. Mia felt a little sad to see them go, but she knew they were still there in her artwork. She put the magical brush back in the attic, promising to return and create new friends whenever she needed a little magic in her life.
Max's amazing kite. Max loved flying kites. One day, his dad made him a special kite shaped like a dragon with a long, colorful tail. Max couldn't wait to see it soar. On a breezy Saturday, he ran to the park with his dragon kite. As he let it loose, the wind lifted it high, and soon it looked like a real dragon flying in the sky. Max grinned, holding the string tightly, feeling like he was controlling a magical creature. Suddenly, a stronger gust of wind pulled the kite higher than ever. Max tried to hold on, but the string slipped through his fingers. He watched in horror as his kite flew away. But just as he thought it was lost, a kind stranger nearby caught the string and helped bring it back down. Max was so grateful. He thanked the stranger and promised to always hold on tightly from now on. That day, he learned that sometimes we need help, and it's okay to ask for it.
Daisy and the Moonlit Picnic. Daisy loved nighttime. One summer evening, she asked her family to have a picnic under the stars. Her mom and dad packed sandwiches, and her little brother brought a jar to catch fireflies. They spread a blanket in their backyard as the sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of pink and purple. As they ate, the first stars twinkled above. Daisy felt like she was in a magical world. Her brother caught a few fireflies, their tiny lights glowing in the jar. They told stories and shared their dreams under the vast, starry sky. Daisy felt happy and loved, surrounded by her family and nature's beauty. That night, as they packed up, she realized that the best memories are made with the people we love. From then on, Daisy looked forward to many more magical picnics under the stars.
Benny and the Secret Tunnel. Benny loved exploring. One day, while playing in the forest, he discovered a narrow, hidden path he had never seen before. Curious, he followed it until he reached a small opening in the ground, a tunnel. Benny hesitated for a moment, then crawled in, feeling a mix of excitement and a little fear. The tunnel led him to a secret underground room filled with mysterious carvings and glowing stones. Benny felt like he had stepped into a hidden world. He imagined that this must have been a place for forest creatures to gather. He carefully touched one of the stones, feeling its smooth, cool surface. After a while, he decided to leave and tell his friends about his discovery. They all agreed to explore the forest together next time, eager to find more hidden treasures. Benny learned that curiosity can lead to amazing adventures, especially when shared with friends.
The picnic on Rainbow Hill. Sophie and her friends decided to have a picnic on a hill they called Rainbow Hill because flowers of all colors grew there. They packed sandwiches, juice, and a fruit salad and set off for the hill. When they arrived, they spread their blanket and looked around. The flowers seemed to sway in a dance, and the birds sang as if to welcome them. As they ate, Sophie noticed something magical. A rainbow appeared right in front of them, arching across the sky. They all gasped and stared in awe. They laughed, told stories, and picked a few flowers to make crowns. Sophie realized that special moments don't need a lot, just good friends and a little nature magic. They left Rainbow Hill with happy hearts, vowing to return for another picnic soon.
Jake and the Friendly Giant. Jake loved stories about giants. One day, while hiking in the mountains with his family, he wandered off the path and came across huge footprints. His eyes widened as he imagined a giant living nearby. Suddenly, he heard a deep voice say, "Hello, little friend." Jake looked up to see a friendly giant smiling down at him. The giant introduced himself as Gorm and offered to show Jake around his forest. Jake rode on Gorm's shoulder, feeling like he was on top of the world. They saw giant flowers, birds, and trees. Before they said goodbye, Gorm gave Jake a tiny seed, promising that if he planted it, a magical tree would grow. Back home, Jake planted the seed and cared for it every day. Soon, a giant tree grew, reminding him of his amazing adventure with Gorm the Friendly Giant.
The Puzzle of the Missing Socks. Bella loved wearing colorful socks, but somehow, one of each pair always went missing. Determined to solve the mystery, Bella set up a sock detective station in her room. She kept an eye on the laundry basket and watched carefully whenever her mom did the laundry. One night, as she lay in bed, she heard a tiny voice saying, "Psst, Bella." She looked down and saw a tiny, sock-shaped creature peeking out from under her bed. "I'm the sock goblin, and I only take socks that are lonely," he whispered. Bella laughed and promised to always keep her socks in pairs. From then on, she never lost another sock. Bella learned that even small mysteries can have fun and unexpected solutions.
Ella and the Friendly Owl. Ella had always wanted to see an owl. One evening, as she sat on her porch, a big, friendly owl perched on a branch nearby. The owl hooted, and Ella smiled, feeling a sense of calm. She whispered, "Hello, Mr. Owl." To her surprise, the owl seemed to nod back. Ella decided to share her dreams with the owl, talking about all the things she wanted to do, like painting and learning new songs. The owl listened patiently, as if understanding every word. Every evening after that, Ella and the owl shared a quiet moment, and Ella felt inspired to follow her dreams. The owl taught her that sometimes having a friend to listen is all you need. The Lost Kite Adventure. Emma loved flying her red kite. On a windy day, she took it to the park, watching it soar higher and higher. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind tugged it from her grip, and it drifted out of reach, landing in a tree far from the path. Emma felt disappointed, but she wasn't ready to give up. With determination, she decided to search for a way to retrieve her kite. As she walked, she met Leo, a boy with a sturdy stick. Leo offered to help her, and together they tried to reach the kite. Although the stick wasn't long enough, their teamwork and laughter turned the moment into a fun adventure. They noticed a park ranger nearby and told him about their situation. The kind ranger had a ladder and helped them get the kite down from the tree. Emma thanked the ranger and Leo, feeling grateful for their kindness. On her way home, Emma realized that losing her kite wasn't so bad after all. She had made a new friend and learned that sometimes asking for help leads to happy surprises. That day, Emma promised herself to always lend a hand to others, just as Leo and the ranger had done for her.
Milo and the Secret Path. Milo loved exploring his backyard, where he often discovered bugs, plants, and interesting rocks. One day, while digging in a corner, he found a small hidden path, half covered with leaves. Curious, he decided to follow it, wondering where it might lead. The path twisted through thick bushes and led him to a small clearing with wildflowers and a big, old tree in the center. Excited by his discovery, Milo felt like he'd found a secret place just for himself. He imagined the tree had been waiting for someone to find it, and he decided to name it Magic Tree. Milo returned every day, bringing water for the flowers and reading his favorite books under the tree's shade. He even brought his little sister to show her the path. Together, they played, picked wildflowers, and pretended the tree was a magical friend with stories of its own. Over time, Milo started to learn about the different flowers and small animals living near the tree. The magic tree taught him that nature has its own little secrets, waiting to be discovered by anyone willing to look.
Lily's first day with glasses. Lily was nervous when she learned she needed glasses. She thought her friends would tease her, and she worried she'd look different. On her first day with glasses, she walked slowly to school, trying to hide her face. When she arrived, her friend Emma immediately noticed and smiled. "Wow, your glasses look cool," she said. Surprised, Lily thanked her. Throughout the day, More classmates complimented her glasses, and she began to feel more comfortable. At recess, her friend Jack even asked to try them on for fun. Lily laughed as he pretended to be a professor, making funny faces. By the end of the day, she realized her glasses weren't so bad after all. In fact, they helped her see the world more clearly. She felt grateful that her friends were supportive and kind. That night, as she cleaned her glasses, she smiled, knowing she was proud of her new look.
Sam's surprise party. Sam's birthday was coming up, but he didn't expect a party since his family had just moved to a new town. He missed his old friends and felt lonely. On his birthday, he was feeling a bit down when his mom suggested they visit a nearby park. Reluctantly, Sam agreed, thinking it was just to pass the time. When they arrived, he was surprised to see some kids from his new school holding balloons and shouting, "Happy birthday, Sam." His parents had planned a surprise party with the help of his new classmates. Sam's heart filled with joy as he realized he wasn't alone. They played games, ate cake, and laughed all afternoon. Sam learned that change could bring new friendships and happy surprises. He felt grateful to have such caring friends and family.
The Big Talent Show. Mia loved to sing, but she was always too shy to perform in front of others. When her school announced a talent show, her best friend Lily encouraged her to sign up. Mia was nervous, but Lily promised to cheer her on. They practiced together every day after school, with Lily clapping and cheering for Mia's progress. When the day of the show arrived, Mia felt her heart race as she stepped onto the stage. She took a deep breath, looked out into the crowd, and spotted Lily's encouraging smile. Feeling braver, Mia started to sing, and soon, her voice filled the room. When she finished, the audience applauded, and Mia felt a rush of happiness. She realized that sometimes, it just takes a friend's support to overcome fears and do something special.
Oliver's library adventure. Oliver loved reading more than anything else. One rainy afternoon, he went to the library, hoping to find a new adventure book. As he browsed, he stumbled upon an old book with a dusty cover. Curious, he opened it and discovered it was filled with strange drawings and maps. The librarian noticed Oliver's interest and told him it was a book of local legends. Fascinated, Oliver decided to borrow it. Over the next few days, he read about mysterious creatures and hidden treasures supposedly around his town. With a flashlight and notebook in hand, Oliver began exploring nearby parks and woods, using the maps in the book as his guide. Though he didn't find any real treasure, he discovered new places he had never noticed before. Oliver's library adventure taught him that stories could spark real-life adventures and that magic often hides in everyday places.
Ava and the Garden's Magic. Ava's grandmother had a beautiful garden filled with colorful flowers and butterflies. Every summer, Ava helped her water the plants and pull out weeds. One day, her grandmother told her a story about a fairy who lived among the flowers and watched over the garden. Ava was captivated and decided to leave little gifts for the fairy, like tiny flower petals and acorn cups filled with water. Each morning, she'd check if the fairy had visited, imagining signs of her tiny footprints in the soil. Although she never saw the fairy, the garden felt more magical than ever. Ava learned that imagination could make ordinary places feel extraordinary. Her grandmother smiled, happy to see Ava enjoying the beauty of nature in her own special way.
Tom's soccer practice. Tom loved soccer, but wasn't the best on his team. He often felt frustrated when he couldn't score goals like his friends. Determined to get better, Tom started practicing in his backyard every day after school. He watched videos on soccer techniques and even asked his older brother to help him. Slowly, he began to see improvement and his confidence grew. At the next game, Tom played his best, and although he didn't score, he managed to pass the ball to a teammate who did. His team cheered, and Tom realized that being a team player was just as important as scoring. He felt proud of himself for working hard and learning that success could come in many forms.
Ellie's baking adventure. Ellie loved watching her mom bake. One rainy afternoon, her mom suggested they bake cookies together. Excited, Ellie put on an apron and listened carefully to her mom's instructions. They measured flour, sugar, and chocolate chips, mixing everything in a big bowl. Ellie accidentally spilled some flour, and they both laughed as it covered her from head to toe. Once the cookies were in the oven, Ellie eagerly watched them bake, smelling the delicious aroma filling the kitchen. When they were finally ready, she took a bite and smiled, proud of her work. Ellie learned that baking was messy but fun, and that sometimes the best memories are made with a sprinkle of flour and a lot of laughter. Finn's first camping trip. Finn had never been camping before, but he was excited when his family planned a trip to the mountains. As they set up the tent, Finn helped unpack, learning how to set up the sleeping bags and start a campfire. At night, they roasted marshmallows and told stories under the stars. Finn felt amazed by how many stars he could see without city lights. As he lay in his sleeping bag, he listened to the sounds of nature, feeling both excited and a little scared. In the morning, he explored the woods with his family, discovering animal tracks and different plants. Finn's first camping trip taught him to appreciate the outdoors and the beauty of nature.
Max's rainy day science experiment. Max loved science, and on a rainy day, he decided to try a simple experiment. He found some vinegar and baking soda in the kitchen and carefully poured them into a plastic bottle, following a recipe he'd seen online. When he added the vinegar to the baking soda, the mixture fizzed and bubbled, surprising him with a mini explosion. Max laughed, thrilled with his experiment. His mom watched, reminding him to be safe and clean up afterward. Max spent the rest of the afternoon looking up more science experiments to try. He learned that even a rainy day could be exciting with a little curiosity and creativity.
Bella's butterfly garden. Bella loved butterflies and wanted to attract them to her garden. She read that certain flowers would bring butterflies, so she asked her mom if they could plant a butterfly garden together. They chose flowers like marigolds and zinnias, planting them carefully. Over the weeks, Bella eagerly watched the garden, and one sunny morning, she saw a beautiful butterfly fluttering around the flowers. She felt a sense of accomplishment, knowing her hard work had paid off. Bella's garden became her favorite place, and she learned that patience and dedication could bring beautiful rewards.
Charlie and the Lost Kitten. Charlie found a tiny kitten hiding under his porch one cold morning. It was scared and hungry, so he brought it some warm milk. The kitten, which he named Whiskers, warmed up to him quickly. Charlie asked his parents if they could keep Whiskers, and they agreed as long as Charlie took responsibility. He learned to feed, play with, and care for the kitten, realizing that pets need love and attention. Whiskers became Charlie's best friend, and together they shared countless adventures. Charlie's compassion and responsibility grew, showing him that sometimes caring for others brings the greatest happiness.
The Playground Heroes. Lily and her friends loved playing at their neighborhood playground. One day, they noticed some broken swings and litter scattered around. Feeling disappointed, they decided to take action. They brought a trash bag and gloves from home and spent the afternoon picking up litter, wiping down the slides, and making the area cleaner. Other kids saw them and joined in, turning the cleanup into a team effort. When they finished, the playground looked much better, and they all felt proud of their work. Lily and her friends became its playground heroes in their neighborhood, learning that small efforts could make a big difference.
Jamie's lemonade stand. Jamie wanted to buy a new bike, so he decided to set up a lemonade stand to save money. He worked hard, making a sign, and preparing lemonade with his mom's help. The neighbors loved his lemonade and admired his dedication. Jamie spent several afternoons selling lemonade, and soon he had enough money for his bike. The experience taught him the value of hard work and determination. He felt proud of achieving his goal and grateful for the support of his community.
Katie's snow day adventure. When Katie woke up to a snowy world outside, she couldn't wait to play in the snow. She bundled up and joined her friends to build a snowman. They found sticks for arms, a carrot for the nose, and a scarf to keep him warm. Afterward, they had a snowball fight, laughing as they dodged each other's throws. Katie's day was filled with laughter and joy, and she realized that simple moments with friends could create the best memories.
Daisy's first art show. Daisy loved painting and spent hours creating colorful landscapes and animals. Her teacher noticed her talent and suggested she enter the school art show. Although Daisy was nervous, she decided to share her artwork with others. On the day of the show, she was amazed by the positive feedback and kind words from her friends and family. Daisy felt proud of herself for being brave, and she realized that art was her way of expressing herself. She learned that sharing her passion brought joy not only to herself, but to others as well.
Ben's bike adventure. Ben loved riding his bike around the neighborhood, exploring every corner. One day, he decided to take a new path that led to a small lake he'd never seen before. The lake was peaceful, with ducks swimming and a few people fishing. Ben sat by the water, enjoying the calm surroundings. When he returned home, he told his family about his discovery. Ben learned that sometimes, taking a new path can lead to unexpected, beautiful places. His bike adventures became a way for him to explore and appreciate his surroundings.
Zoe and the mystery in the garden. Zoe loved gardening with her mom. One day, she noticed small footprints and disturbed soil near the vegetables. Curious, she decided to investigate. Each morning, she checked the garden, finding more clues, like small feathers and bits of grass. Finally, she spotted a family of birds making a nest nearby. Zoe was thrilled to solve the mystery, and she learned that sometimes nature has its own little surprises to share. She felt happy to be part of the birds' journey and was proud to have solved her first garden mystery. The playground of laughter. Sophia was shy and often played alone at recess. One day, she heard laughter from a group of kids playing a game. She wanted to join but was nervous. A friendly girl named Anna invited her over, and soon Sophia was laughing and playing too. They made up silly games, shared jokes, and had a blast. Sophia realized that laughter brought people together and made everyone feel welcome. She decided to share her laughter with others, inviting new kids to play each day. Her playground of laughter became a happy place where everyone was welcome to join, laugh, and have fun together. The Lost Key of Imagination. Oliver found an old key while exploring his backyard. He imagined it belonged to a secret room filled with books, games, and treasures. With his friends, he made up stories of where the key might lead, each more exciting than the last. They played all afternoon, building forts and drawing maps. Oliver realized the key unlocked his imagination, not a real door. He promised to always use it to create fun adventures. The lost key taught Oliver and his friends that their imaginations could turn any day into an adventure, and they didn't need anything but creativity and each other. The little boat that could. Sam loved sailing his tiny boat on the lake, dreaming of big ocean adventures. One windy day, his boat flipped, but he quickly rescued it. Sam learned to be careful and work with the wind, adjusting his sails to keep his boat steady. With patience, he mastered sailing his boat across the lake. Sam felt proud and knew that one day he'd sail bigger boats. His little boat taught him resilience and patience, and he promised to work hard to achieve his dreams. Every weekend, Sam practiced, each time feeling a little closer to the ocean adventures he dreamed of. The Bake Sale Helpers. Abby and her friends decided to hold a bake sale to raise money for their library. They made cookies, brownies, and cupcakes, each adding their own special touch. Abby noticed her friends working together, some decorating, some mixing, and others helping set up the stall. The bake sale was a huge success, and they raised enough for new books. Abby learned that working together made big goals possible. She realized that teamwork and kindness helped make dreams come true, and she felt proud knowing they had all done it together. The bake sale taught her that sharing skills and working together could make wonderful things happen. The Brave Little Raindrop. On a cloudy day, a tiny raindrop named Ray fell from the sky. Nervous about falling, he asked the other raindrops for advice. They told him that falling was the best part, where he could water plants, fill rivers, and help creatures grow. Encouraged, Ray took a deep breath and leapt. He landed on a sunflower, feeling proud. He saw the joy his water brought to the flower, knowing he was helping the earth. Ray realized that facing fears could lead to wonderful things. His journey taught him that bravery and purpose go hand in hand, and he promised to embrace every challenge with courage.